Hey everyone, I'm take a look at the new nominating contract pack on eFootball. It's called Clutch Players. I'm going to be reviewing Player of the Week today. I'm going to do it live on stream. I'm not sure if this video is going to go live before or after that stream, but keep an eye out for that video. As always, I'll put timestamps in the description, so if you want to hear about a particular player from this pack, click on the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So, Clutch Players, who we've got in here? We've got 6 5-stars and we've got 2 4-stars. I think that's pretty much the same as the last time we had the last kind of main nominating contract pack from last time. Let's start with Milner. We've got James Milner. So we've only had one previous version of James Milner. That was a highlight card from some kind of Showtime or Legend pack, I think it was. That was slightly better than this one. The stats are shuffled around a bit. But yeah, if you got that previous one, it is a little bit better than this one on the whole. Not a massive difference really though. One difference between this one and that one though is that this one is fully proficient at right back. That previous highlight of Milner wasn't, although it was fully proficient at right midfield and left midfield. So a slight difference in positions, although you can position train him in all those midfield positions. And skill-wise, they've added super sub. Obviously, these players are all supposedly clutch players. So Milner is a super sub now. I wasn't aware he's much for super sub these days, but fair enough. And they've removed one skill to make room for super sub, and that is acrobatic clearance. So not a massive loss. Depends where you're going to play him though. But yeah, he's got a decent section of skills. It's going to depend where you play him. I think for centre mid, he's probably lacking just one touch and through. Really, those are the two important ones. Got interception, fighting spirit. You've got a few positions there. We'll look at the different positions on eFootball Hub though. So 39 years old now, Milner. I don't know how many more Milner cards there are going to be. If you're a fan of this guy, if he's played for one of your teams, it might be a good chance to pick up a Milner card. It's only a 4-star contract as well. This is one of the 2 4-star cards. But yeah, let's jump over to eFootball Hub and we're going to train Milner up. We'll see how good he is. So from his GP card, the biggest boost really is his pace. Quite a bit on his physical contact, defensive engagement as well. Nothing else major going on in terms of the way they boost him from his GP card. So yeah, those are the main areas. Pace is an obvious one. They always boost the pace on all players when they make a highlight or a player of the week card. But yeah, he's only a 4-star card, and as you can see, we max him out. It's not amazing. Down the left, he's looking fine for a midfielder, albeit can't shoot to save his life. His attacking awareness is horrible. Defensively for a centre mid, he's okay on the whole. But then down the right here, the important one really is stamina. For a box-to-box centre mid, 83 stamina is horrific. It's not going to cut the mustard. So I think with the cards in this pack, I'll probably end up saying a similar thing about a lot of them, is that they might be cards that are most useful as a super sub. It is a very useful skill, certainly for attacking players, but for a centre mid box to box, I don't know. I mean, box to box centre mids will get tired depending on their stamina. So it could be a handy card, but yeah, if you discount the whole super sub thing, starting this guy with 83 stamina as a centre midfielder box to box, yeah, he's going to be tired probably by the hour mark, if not earlier. He's going to be tired late in the first half as well, because players do get tired before half time, and then they kind of replenish their stamina before the second half. So yeah, that low stamina is going to be an issue with Milner. Apart from that though, down the right he's looking kind of okay. Would like a bit more balance, maybe a bit more physical strength. Would like a bit more tackling as well, a bit more attacking awareness. Everything else is looking either okay or good. The passing is certainly good. They have gone up to 12 in passing there. You can nudge a few off there. You can nudge it down to maybe 88. Knock his tackling up to the 80 mark. You get to the 90 mark for engagement and aggression. Didn't know Milner was that aggressive, but fair enough. But how much stamina can you give him? Because that's what you need to really improve. You can't really get much on there. You'd have to really take a bunch of points away from elsewhere. Might be worth maybe doing that. I think, to be honest, he might be okay like that. Yeah, the passing's not as good as it was before. It's still just about okay though. I mean, if you look at player of the week midfielders, according to Konami, that passing's absolutely fine. The number of player of the week centre midfielders, you've got like 83, 84 for low pass or lower, and especially creative playmakers, you get like about 80 for low pass. So yeah, according to Konami, that passing's fine. Certainly if you go with PA1, smart assist, it won't be a problem if you do that. You put his passing right down there. But yeah, as a centre mid, not brilliant. Stamina's a concern. You can slightly improve that stamina. Still not amazing, but yeah, he can make him pretty okay for a 4-star. But again, though, with the skills, as if you're going to play him as a centre mid, he does need one-touch passing, through passing. Outside of that, he's got most of the skills he needs really. But those two are very important if you're going to play him as a centre midfielder. In terms of other positions, let's start with the fully proficient positions first, and that's left back and right back. Obviously, we'll cover those with one build. I'll start with the auto allocation, see what it says. Yeah, I think a similar case, to be honest. For a 4-star, pretty solid, but is that going to cut it for you? The acceleration is lacking. Could do with a little bit more speed and stamina maybe. Outside of that, he can get by, to be fair. And he's got the skills he needs for fullback. He's got crossing when he gets forward, and he's got interception defensively. He's got two of the most important ones. Again, he could do with one or two more. As a fullback, I'd like him to have man marking and blocker as well. But yeah, I mean, the passing is good for fullback. On the ball, he's okay. Defensively, I think he's okay. Certainly for an attacking fullback, that is how he'll play. Again, I did start doing those videos a while back, and I will get back to them at some point. But I try players without active playing styles. If you play someone as a fullback without an active playing style, they play like an attacking fullback. So unless you put the defensive instruction on him, which I wouldn't recommend, I don't think he's quite strong enough to be a defensive fullback. But yeah, if you don't, then he plays an attacking fullback, and as an attacking fullback, yeah, a few stats you'd like to be a bit higher, mainly the acceleration, but he could do a job, to be fair. Similar to centre midfield. Not going to be amazing. He is obviously a 4-star, but could do a job, but it's a bit of a stretch for me. But he does have other positions. In fact, would I tweak that build for fullback when he could easily knock a couple of points away from passing there? But then can't really afford to increase anything else. Yeah, I don't know. Well, hang on. Let's just see. You can get you can get your acceleration up by 1. Yeah, that's about what you can do. It's not worth it, is it really? Let's be honest. So yeah, a stretch. He could be a fullback, could be a usable one. Not a bad one, but yeah, he is a 4-star, and he's probably not going to cut it for most people. If you're desperate any given week for the English League Challenge, you don't have any fullbacks on form, right or left back, could do a job. He's got outside curler, even you know, if he's not particularly two-footed. So yeah, right back or left back if you're desperate, could do a job there. But in terms of other positions where he's not fully proficient yet, where you could position train him, let's see what the auto allocation says for DMF. That's a bit better than I expected, to be honest. I mean, again, stamina's poor, and that box-to-box playing style will be active as DMF, unless you put defensive on him, then he'll play like an anchor man. Yeah, stamina a concern. Apart from that, though, you know, pretty decent defensively. Down the left, I think he's fine for a DMF. I think he could do a job there as a DMF. I think, again, he's not gonna be amazing for many people, but he could do a job there. Is it worth position training him? And you wouldn't need to give him 1 or 2 skills to be a DMF. Again, I think man marking and blocker, and I think you need 1 touch and 3 passing for any midfield role. So yeah, you need a few skills. You need to position train him. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. If you're a big fan of Milner, maybe. But if he's not someone he's not someone who's played for one of your teams, he's not someone you really like, then I don't know if it's really worth the trainers. But certainly at a stretch as a DMF, he could definitely do a job for you. But like I say, that stamina's the one thing that stands out to me. That's scary. We've covered CMF, obviously. Let's try AMF first, and then we'll make him a winger. So AMF, I'll do this one manually. So we take away all the defensive stuff. Get him a bit more dexterity. When we've gone up to 80 dexterity, he's still only got 72 attacking awareness. I'm not liking the look of this guy as an attacking mid. He's not great at dribbling either. He used to be good at dribbling when he was young, when he came through. He was a winger. I won't remember him at Newcastle back in the day. Walked past him once, actually, in the middle of Newcastle. He just bought some trainers. Random story for you. Passing needs to be better for AMF. We'll just leave it 88, actually, because we need more dexterity. Yeah. 2 points left. Shooting. That's not the most exciting AMF for me. Again, you could do it at a stretch. If you gave him the skills and position training for AMF, he could do a job there. But is that looking like an AMF is going to get into your team anytime soon in any of the squads? It's not, is it? Let's be honest. I mean, in fact, we could actually, let's nick a bit more flower body. Can get that passing up to 90. Yeah, like I say, you could do. Oh, I just clicked the wrong thing. You can make him an AMF and he could do a job for you, but again, for the position trainers and the skill trainers, is it worth it? I don't think so. I'm not sure Milner's ever played as an AMF, has he? But let's finish up wide midfield. Can we make him a winger, which is what he was when he was young? I don't think we're going to get much joy, but we'll give it a go. Certainly needs more pace. He needs a bit more on the ball as well, doesn't he? Where do we go? Not really sure what to do here. That. You could do worse. You could certainly do worse, but I don't know. His crossing will be kind of okay, not amazing. In fact, if I take everything off the passing and we consider him a left winger with this build, yeah, he could do a job. The dribbling's not great. He's not exactly got electric pace. He can't shoot to save his life. Don't be too great on the left. On the right, if we were going to nudge a few points back onto passing because he's got pinpoint crossing. Yeah, we could make his crossing, yeah, pretty reasonable, to be honest. Not amazing, certainly. In fact, yeah, I'll just probably do something like that. Yeah, so as a right midfielder, again, yeah, still not great dribbling. He's not the quickest, but 85 lofted. He's got pinback crossing. He could do a job as a right mid. Again, though, I think this is pretty much the deal with most of his positions. You can make him usable at a stretch, but he's not great in any position. Certainly, he's not one of these cards who's a 4-star, but if you train him in another position, he suddenly becomes a 5-star. There are some cards where you can do that. Certainly, a lot of fullbacks, especially, you can make a very good centre back, but this Milner card is very much a 4-star. At a stretch, he could do a job for you as a fullback. Could be a reasonable centre mid as well. If you really wanted to use the position skill trains, he could do a job in another midfield role. But I think the summary with this card is it's very much a 4-star card. Could be a handy one for the versatility for the English League squad, especially as a super sub. If you start him, that stamina's the biggest drawback in any position. I'll leave him on his auto allocation centre mid just to finish up here. So yeah, he's obviously a 4-star, so he's going to be lacking in a few areas. Stamina's the biggest concern. But if you're really desperate for someone for your English League squad in one of his positions, he is versatile, could come in handy, especially as a super sub. And if you're a Milner fan, it might be one of your last chances to get a Milner card. So not the best card, speaking objectively, but I think it could be a useful one for some people, and certainly for anyone who's a Milner fan who didn't get that previous Milner card. Could be a pretty fun one to pick up. Right, so our other 4-star is Roony, and if you listen to the commentators when I watch the La Liga matches, it's Bardghji. I'm not sure how that's quite pronounced, Bardghji. Bardghji, I'm just going to call him Roony. So he's got a face scan. He's got one position. He can position train for a couple more if you want to. But yeah, he's very much a right-sided forward. It's the first time I've had a version of Roony, a featured version. And what we've got skill-wise, pretty sure he's already a super sub, so he got some decent skills here. He double touch, cut behind soul control. So if you give him flip flap, he would have the ball roll double touch. Doesn't quite have it yet. Long range curler, dipping shot, long range shooting, acrobatic finishing, first time shot. So yeah, all the shooting skills there, but no passing skills. So it's pretty clear what this guy's gonna be good at least in terms of skills. Although the passing and shooting are around about the same level there in terms of the stats. And of course, he's a super sub, so it could be handy super sub. That is a very handy skill for attacking players. But let's find out how good this card actually is, and let's go over to the eFootball Hub to do that. So. How good are you, Mr. Bardghji? Okay, so he's good at dribbling. So let's just have a look at how he compares with GP card. So what they boosted mainly from his GP card: attacking awareness, on the ball, passing, kicking power, physical contact. Physical contact's the biggest boost. They put, I think, 11 points on physical contact. Still not great, so he did need that. Bit of a boost on his balance and stamina. So he's had a boost in a bunch of areas, really. But yeah, you can see what he's good at. Clearly, he's going to be one of these players who you just want to get him on the ball. He's going to be fun on the ball. But the drawback with this guy, and the reason he's only a 4-star, it's not the terrible stamina, and it is terrible again. It's the fact he's got no end product whatsoever. So yeah, he's going to be one of these guys you just want to try and run it into the net, basically. Kind of work your way into a position to get your shot away from fairly close to the goal. Because if you ask too much from with his shooting, even though he's got all those shooting skills, yeah, you're going to miss the target. And certainly when it comes to passing, I wouldn't bother. I would just dribble because this guy's great at dribbling. I mean, on a 4-star free-to-play card, 97 dribbling. Hello, that is rather nice. He's got a pretty decent pace. I think we can nudge that speed up to 90 pretty easy, can't we? Let's just nick one off dribbling straight away and do that straight away. Is it going to make a massive difference? No. Does it look nicer to hit that 90 mark? Yes. So yeah, he's rapid, good balance, fantastic on the ball. But yeah, he's a bit lacking elsewhere. Be nice if we can nudge the attacking awareness up a little bit as well, actually. I think I'll just do the same thing again. I'm not sure everyone, I think, would consider that entirely worthwhile, but yeah, I think I've pretty much summed up already. He's just another one of these wingers. He's not going to be great with passing and playmaking, and you've got to be careful with his shooting as well, but he looks like he's going to feel really nice on the ball. He's not the tallest, so he's got a fairly low centre of gravity, pace, balance, and dribbling. He's got 1-2 skill moves. I think it could be a really fun one, this guy. For a 4-star contract, it could be a pretty handy pickup, actually. Yes, the end product is lacking desperately, but if you can kind of, if you're prepared for that, and if you're willing to be careful enough with him, then that's not going to be too much of a hindrance. It could be a pretty tidy one, especially as a super sub again. We're looking at super subs, I'm guessing, on all of these cards. So yeah, it could be a handy one. You could try and improve the end product, but is it worth it? I mean, if you took a bunch of points away from elsewhere, if you went down to 8 on these 3, you got 16 points there, but even if you do all that, what's the end product looking like? It's still looking bad. Is it worth it? Maybe. If you're really concerned about the end product, he's still going to be nice on the ball. For me personally, I would just accept that he's going to be terrible at passing and shooting, and I would just not pass the ball and just be very careful with the shooting, and then I'll put those points back onto all those in those other areas, like that, and then you got the points per stick it in area, why not? I would just do that. I would probably start him on the bench. Stamina's not great, and he could be a fun super, so I'll throw him on second half off that right wing. Bit of trickery, going to be nice on the ball, could be a fun one. I think for a 4-star. In terms of overall quality, just for the end product alone, I'd say he's not going to be a brilliant one, but for how nice he's going to be on the ball, if you like a dribbler and inverted winger, I think it could be a pretty decent value one for a 4-star. Similar to, I think it was Nonto 1 or 2 packs ago, a similar one. He was a 4-star. Going to be a lot of fun on the ball and not much end product. And this is a similar situation with Bardghji, or Bardghji, whatever his name is. So yeah, it could be a handy one. You do have other positions. Is he going to be a good attacking midfielder? I'm gonna stick my neck on the line and say no. Let's just go to auto allocation. No. So there's your answer. I mean, if you took a whole load of points away from dribbling and from elsewhere, and he just really tried to beef his passing up as much as he can. I mean, you got to 14 on passing, you can get to 80 low pass. Wow. Yeah, he's not an attacking midfielder, let's be honest. He's a right wing forward. You can make him a centre forward, but that finishing is going to be the same situation. You're not going to be able to make him good enough at finishing to play centre forward. Yeah, so auto allocation. We've got to 12 dexterity. We're only 82 attacking when it's fully boosted. Up to 9 on shooting, 76. I mean, it's going to be awful as a striker. He's got the shooting skills for sure. Maybe if you play manual shooting, it could do a job for you as a striker. But again, is it worth the position trainers? You need to increase his proficiency twice as a centre forward. No, it's not going to be worth the trainers, is it? Let's be honest. He's going to be at his best, very much in his registered position. Whether you go auto allocation, whether you tweak it just to nudge a few of them up to maybe to get the awareness to 80, the speed to 90, and so on, like I did. It's not going to make a huge difference. But I think the one thing with this guy is he just looks like he's going to be fantastic on the ball. Yes, the lack of end product is absolutely horrific. You can't pass or shoot to save his life, but he does have those shooting skills. And if you're careful enough with the end product, like I say, it looks like he's going to be a lot of fun on the ball. So yeah, no end product, terrible stamina. But I think this guy could be, at least as a super sub, a pretty fun one to have. If you like your tricky, dribbly wingers, especially your inverted wingers, as a left footer coming off the right wing, this guy to me looks like he could be a very fun one. It could be pretty good value for a 4-star contract for a lot of people. Right, that's the 2 4-stars. On to the 5-stars, and we'll start with Ángel Correa. Interesting choice. So he's a roaming flank. He's had a few playing styles, this guy. He's just gone to Mexico recently from Atletico Madrid. He's got a few positions he can play. I've had a few versions of him as well. To be honest, looking at his previous versions, most or even all of them are at least slightly better than this one. So it's not the best version of Correa. Skill-wise, so he's a super sub. Again, I think he's already a super sub, Correa. He's got some interesting skills here. So if you're going to play him up top, first time shot, he's got long range curler, not the most useful for a right footer. He is right footed and he's not fully proficient on the left. You can train him for the left, but yeah, long range curler for a right footer on the right, not the most useful, but certainly through the middle could be handy. Through passing as well. Outside curler, he's got a couple of skill moves there. So yeah, a decent section of skills. We've got a few positions there. We're going to see which position he's best in. Let's go train him up on eFootball Hub. So how good is this Correa card? It's alright. It's not brilliant though. Like I say, previous versions of Correa tend to be a bit better than this one. He has had different positions though. He's had some player of the week cards. I've had, I think, 2 of his player of the week cards. I think I've had a whole player. I think it was a right midfield whole player, and maybe he's a centre forward goal poacher. Pretty tidy one in my experience. Again, you've got a pretty low centre of gravity on this guy. You do feel that. He's quite nimble. He does feel quite nice on the ball. He's been tidy when I've used him, the versions I've had of Correa. So yeah, statistically, you look at it, you think, okay, good on the ball, but outside of that, I don't know, doesn't look too fantastic, but he might win these cards. If you did pick him up, he could find it. He feels pretty nice. He's pretty nimble, pretty handy card. But no, there's no league challenge for most of us with this guy. If you do get to do the Mexican league challenge still, if that's even still a thing, then yeah, it could be a very handy one to pick up. But for most of us, we don't get to do that league challenge, in which case, what you're going to use him for is you're going to get into your strongest squad for divisions. I doubt it. Do you rock an Argentina squad? Could be handy for that, I guess, but yeah, not looking too exciting, but he does have a few positions. From his GP card, the way they boost him, they've actually nerfed a few stats. You're going to find out with a few of these cards in this pack. So they've taken 4 points off lofted pass. So for a right footer who's registered as a right wing forward, playing wide right, why they would nerf his lofted pass, I don't understand. That's very annoying. It was already pretty bad though, to be fair, so I guess it's not going to make too much difference. They've taken 5 points off heading and 5 off jumping, so he's worse in the air than he was. That's, again though, it's not going to make any difference because he's tiny. His heading and jumping are already terrible, so I don't know what the point of that is. I guess they just wanted to nudge his overall rating down by 1, maybe, is now just checking which stats they could reduce without it making much difference. I guess heading and jumping were the ones. And they've taken a few points of stamina as well. Maybe they're just trying to push you to use all these players as super subs or something. Why would they nerf his stamina a bit? I don't know. Anyways, where they boosted him primarily is physical contact. So again, the biggest boost, physical contact, plus 10 physical contact. And then we just got a few points here and there and a bunch of other stats, really. So that's the story in terms of the boost. He's quite two-footed. That's always handy. He's got outside curl as well. So yeah, to be honest, if I was going to pick this card up, and I'm not, because I've still got my Player of the Week version, which I can use in the Spanish League Challenge because it's an Atletico Madrid card, but if I was going to pick this card up and get any use out of him, I would look to position change him for the left, because I think as a right footer, especially with that roaming front playing style, which will be active wide midfield and wide forward, I think it could be pretty handy. They're cutting onto his right foot, first time shot, long range curler. Could be pretty neat there. From the right hand side though, I don't know. He is a roaming flank though. A roaming flank will drift inside a lot. So he's not just going to be hugging the touchline the right hand side. He's going to drift into the middle quite a bit. So yeah, that long range curler, especially first time shot, could be pretty handy. I'm through passing, but with the passing at least, you've got to be careful. Low pass isn't brilliant. It's not quite as bad as Rooney's was, but still not brilliant. Finishing though is a different story. 82 finishing, depending where you're going to use this guy. That's pretty decent. Playing him wide right, or even just behind the attackers and SS. Finishing 82 is not bad at all. On the ball, like I say, he's very nice. That attacking awareness is really nice. I like that combination of having high attacking awareness and a roaming flank. I've said before, I like the roaming flank playing style on my wingers. It's one of my favourite playing styles for my wingers. So as a roaming flank drifting inside into those central attacking positions, having that very high attacking awareness for a winger, he could actually be pretty tidy, this guy. I quite like the look of that. He's not rapid. I mean, he's 30 now, so I guess he's lost a bit of pace, although with some players they seem to give them more and more pace the older they get, like Lewandowski, for example. But yeah, he's not slow, but he's not got electric pace, decent kicking power behind his shots. That boost with physical contact is not going to make him particularly strong, but it will help. You'll probably notice that. Good balance. Would I change much? I don't know. It depends how you use this guy. Like I say, with that lofted pass, I mean, they've nerfed it, but it was terrible already. He's not got pinpoint crossing. You're not going to be putting crosses in with this guy, and if you do, then they're not going to, they're not going to be very good crosses. You're going to focus more on getting into those attacking positions, more central attacking positions, and when you get there, his passing, like I say, his passing is not brilliant, even with through passing. I think you're going to focus on just trying to score goals with this guy, and I think he could be pretty decent at that. So yeah, from right midfield or right wing, drifting inside is that kind of like, I guess maybe it's Lundberg. I think Lundberg was a roaming flank when they released the Lundberg legend card, or maybe it's a couple of them similar to that, where you want to kind of drift inside and use him as a goal scorer like Lundberg was in real life, and like Correa is in real life. He always popped up and scored important goals for Atletico Madrid. He was a clutch player for them. So yeah, it could be a handy one come off that right wing. Through the middle, I mean, looking at the low pass there, you're not going to make an attacking mid. We'll just go towards allocation, rule that out straight away. You can't pass the ball well enough to be an attacking mid, but just behind the attack, maybe, possibly. You're going to have to be careful with that passing. Even going up to 8 on passing there, 78 low pass. Yes, he's got through passing, but he's still going to have great passing. If you're going to play him just behind the attack, you're going to want to focus on trying to get into attacking positions to score goals, not create them. Attacking weight is not quite as high as an SS. Or as an AMF. He's on AMF, isn't he? Let me just see. Not a huge amount you could do, actually. You can nick one off dribbling, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. In fact, what does the auto allocation say as an SS? That's pretty much the same, isn't it? But got more in finishing now. So less passing, more finish. I think that's what they just changed, isn't it? Yeah, he could be an interesting SS. He won't have an active playing style as an SS. I've not done a video on that yet. I have used players as an SS from that playing style before, though. They've worked fine for me in the past. So yeah, he could be an interesting one SS. He does have good attacking awareness, tidy on the ball. Certainly when it comes to shooting, he's got some end products. So he could be a handy one at SS. Could be an option for you. I've used at least one of the 2 Player of the Week versions I've got as an SS. He's been handy for me. Up front, let's do auto allocation again. Yeah, so you can get away with him as a striker for sure. Could you get that finishing up a little bit? Not sure. There's not many points elsewhere. We're going to try though. Hang on. Oh, you one more point. Easy peasy. Bang. Is that going to make a huge difference? No, but nice to get that 90 mark. Yeah, he could be decent as a striker. Again, he won't have an active playing style. I will do a video covering that at some point. Probably be next year. But yeah, awareness from finishing up to 90. For a striker, he's okay on the ball. Obviously not as good as he can be. Decent pace. Great balance. He's got a little bit of physical contact there. He's got a first-time shot, long-range curler. Super sub as well. Yeah, as a centre forward, he could do a job for you. He could be decent. Not amazing, but he could certainly do a job for you. So that's an option for you as well. He's another versatile one, this one. But yeah, like I said, I think wide left would be where I'd most like this guy, because with that roaming flank playing style, the fact that he's better at shooting than passing as a right footer, I think as a roaming flank from the left flank, he could be a handy one. I'm just gonna retrain him a little bit. I'm gonna leave the passing because he's not gonna be good at passing regardless. And I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Yeah, so you can't get all the stats quite where you want them to be, obviously, but I think he can be pretty tidy, this guy. We can just get that speed up to 90. Yeah, he could be pretty tidy if you were going to position train him for the left. I mean, is it worth the position trainers? That's up to you, but some pace, balance on the ball, fantastic awareness for a wide man with that roaming flank playing style. I like that combination, and that finishing 80 plus with the shooting skills he's got. He's a super sub. If you position train him for the left, I think he could be a really, really handy one, actually. I quite like the look of him, but the fact that there's no lead change to use him, and that puts me off, unfortunately. Otherwise, I'll probably be very tempted to pick him up, because like I say, the two versions I've had of him myself, I've quite liked. He's been a pretty handy one for me, but yeah, the fact is that this is a Mexican League card now. That's the one thing that puts me off him, and the fact that you'd need those position trains to play him on the left, which is where I personally think he'd be the most effective. But you can use him through the middle. He could be a decent striker. Could maybe be an SS. Certainly wide right, drifting inside. You know, not so much when he's out in wide positions because he can't cross, but when he does drift inside, which he will with the roaming flank playing style, with a good attacking awareness, he could be a handy one from the right flank as well. So yeah, the lack of a lead change for most of us is very off-putting, unfortunately, and he's not the best 5-star. You can't make him that good in every area. There's always going to be one or two areas where he's a little bit lacking, but I do think he could be a handy one. There's a few ways you can use him. Versatile, again, obviously is a good attacking super sub as well. So yeah, I don't think he's going to appeal to too many people, this guy, but for some people it could be a pretty handy one to pick up. And yeah, just that lead change puts me off him, really. Apart from that, I'd be quite tempted. I think it's quite a decent looking card, to be honest, on the whole, even if it's not an amazing one. Right, who's next? Chiesa. So Chiesa is a clutch player apparently as well. So we've had a few Chiesa cards. We've had loads, in fact, at this point. There's quite a few that are a bit better than this one. We've had two, I think we've had two nominating contract versions. They're both slightly better than this one. I think one was Speedsters, the other one had a blue background. I forget what the theme was there, but yeah, they're both slightly better than this one overall. So yes, not the best version of Chiesa. He is already a super sub. So again, you've got a player who's already got the super sub skill. I don't think they've changed anything skill wise. Got long range curl, that's an important one if you're going to play him wide left as a right footer. He's pretty two-footed though, isn't he? Yeah, he's fairly two-footed. Pinpoint crossing for playing off the right, although I'm not sure how good it. Oh yeah, his crossing is going to be terrible. Yikes! I didn't know his crossing would be that bad. But yeah, he got a few good skills there. Let's jump into the hub. Let's go get him trained up straight away. So how good is this Chiesa card? Like I said, it's not as good as some of his previous ones. It's still good though. So if you've got a previous Chiesa card, the chances are you've probably got a slightly better one than this one. But if you don't have a good version of Chiesa, it's still a good card, this one, even if it's not the best Chiesa card. They've actually nerfed his passing. So from his GP card, they've taken 3 points off low pass, 6 points off lofted pass. Why would they do that? What are you doing? I mean, it's bad enough as it is. I mean, why? Poor Chiesa. They've also nerfed him in the air, much like I think it was Rooney we were just looking at. So we've lost 7 points off heading, or was it Correa? I forget which one, but yeah, we've lost 7 points off heading. We've lost 8 points off jumping. So he was terrible in the air, and now he's really terrible in the air. That's not going to make a lot of difference, is it? But they have, of course, boosted him in some areas, and where they're boosting the most is finishing. So we've gone plus 10 on finishing. That is nice. That's very nice. Plus 8 physical contact. So again, they do that a lot these days. They put the physical contact up on wingers and attacking players. But yeah, finishing and physical contact is really the story here. And the fact they've nerfed his passing a bit, they put a few points and a bunch of other attributes here and there. But yeah, terrible at passing, much better at finishing, a bit stronger. There you go. That's the story with this Chiesa highlight card. And yeah, it looks like a decent one. So again, you got a few positions here. I'm not even going to bother training for attacking midfield because he's not going to be able to pass the ball well enough. Even SS, he'd struggle a bit. But out wide, yeah, he does look decent. I've used a couple of Chiesa cards in the past. My co-op buddy, when we used to play co-op a lot, he used to bring his GP Chiesa card, and he was actually decent. I do like Chiesa in the game. He's a decent card. And as you can see, again, you've got good pace, really good pace, good on the ball. The bounce is pretty good. And yeah, awareness and finishing decent. He's a prolific winger. He looks pretty handy coming off the left wing. I wouldn't play him on the right, although he is fairly two-footed. So yeah, off the right could be decent, but I think there's a bit more importance on his passing and crossing ability from the right wing. From the left wing, for the most part, you're gonna be looking to cut inside and get the shots away, aren't you? And you've got long range curler there, and he's got decent finishing for a winger and attacking awareness. So yeah, he looks fairly decent from the left wing. Could you beef his end product up a little bit? Is it worth it? I'm not sure. We can free up a few points here. There's one on defending. Thank you very much. Again, we've got terrible stamina. So yeah, I think they are trying to push us to treat these players as super subs. What's going to be this? So I've got 6 points. I don't think it's worth. You know what? His passing's that bad. I would take all those points away from passing, and I'll just stick his shooting right up a bit, and then can we just nudge that balance up to 90? It's just an OCD thing as much as anything, to be honest. You can. I would just do that. Put the last point on passing, and that'll make absolutely no difference whatsoever. But yeah, I think I'll just do that. We've not really made a huge amount of difference there, to be honest. But I would focus more on the finishing than shooting, because like I was saying with Roony, I think he's not going to be good at passing this guy. You're not going to want to pass the ball at all with him, really, because you're going to give the ball away. Albeit if you use PA1 and Smart Assist, that won't make a lot of difference. But certainly with the finishing, he's definitely got the ability to cut inside off that left wing and get a goal for you. Could be very effective like that. Could you play him as a centre forward as well? Let's see, auto allocation, what we're saying. That's a bit of a stretch, really. Fully boosted in the game plan, 84 awareness, 85 finishing. Is it good enough? I think for some people you'd say it might be. For me, I'd say it's not. There's not many points you can free out from elsewhere. I mean, there's a few. You can nudge things up a little bit. I mean, dexterity at 12. I consider that, in most cases, I'll consider 12 maxed out. I know you can go higher, but for the amount of points it takes, because when you go past 12, the next 4 increases are going to cost 4 points each. I don't think it's worth it. I'd sooner put his finishing up by a couple and he can get up to the 88 mark. It's a bit of a stretch, but I think certainly, at least as a super sub, he could be a handy striker. You throw him on second half as a super sub, he could do a job for you. He does have very good pace, especially the acceleration's insane. Obviously, we've got up to 12 in dexterity there, great balance. Some kicking power behind his shots. So yeah, he'll have a decent finish on him. Could do a job as a striker, but like I say, the attacking awareness is the main thing that holds him back there. I'm not entirely convinced by him as a striker. And wide right, we'll just go back to the auto allocation. It's just the end product. In terms of the passing and crossing, it's a bit more important from the right hand side. But he is quite two-footed, so you can certainly get away with him from the right, but I think he's definitely best from the left hand side. He's got pace, he's going to be pretty good on the ball. A bit of awareness and finishing as well. Yes, you're going to be very careful with his passing. I would try to avoid passing altogether, to be honest. But yeah, if you're careful enough with the passing, cutting it off that left wing onto his right foot, got a pretty decent touching skills, especially as a super sub, be very handy. It's not the best Chiesa card, but it does look like it's still a pretty handy one. So this could be a handy card for a lot of people and a good option for the English League Challenge especially. So like I say, if you've already got a good Chiesa card, you've probably got a better one already, in which case you won't need this one. But if you don't already have a good Chiesa card, or if you've got one that's maybe quite old now and it's not quite as good as this one, then yeah, this could be a very handy card. I think for the English League Challenge, certainly for quite a few people, this could be a decent card, very effective. But yeah, the passing sucks, the stamina sucks. It might be another card best to use as a super sub, but either way, it could be a pretty handy card for a lot of people. But if you've already got a Chiesa card, you probably don't need it. And next up, we've got Harry. So, Harry Maguire, who quite recently was in the point store. So, why have they put him in here? I won't rant. So we got a face scan, build up centre back, inconsistent form still, slow as hell, and then skill wise, have they added? Okay, so they've added super sub, I think. Or have they? Yeah, they've added super sub. So that's new. So he's not already got that. He is a bit of a clutch player, to be fair, Harry Maguire. So I can understand him being in there, but it's another one where the fact he was in the point store recently just makes it a bit of a poor choice, really. I don't think many people in the player base really need him, because if you've got any interest in the Harry Maguire card, you got the one from the point store. So yeah, not the best choice, but heading and aerial, man marking, interception, blocker, could do with acrobatic clearance and maybe sliding tackle. Apart from that, though, good set of skills for a centre back, and it's a super sub, which isn't that handy for a centre back, because as far as everyone's aware, super sub increases your attacking awareness and possibly finishing, and nothing else. So yeah, pretty useless skill on a centre back, really, unless they'd made him a. You know what they should have done, actually? Maguire's a clutch player when he gets thrown on as a striker late on, or when he moves up front as a striker in the closing stages. Why have they not made him at least semi-proficient as a striker? That's an own goal, that is. If you're gonna make this Harry Maguire card a clutch card based on the fact he's good as a super sub or just getting thrown forward in the closing stages to get you a goal, you've got to make him at least semi-proficient as a striker. That's a real mistake, that is. Yeah, they should have done that. If they'd have done that, this would have been a must sign. This would have been an instant signing for me. But the fact they've not done that, I think I think that's really poor, and I don't think there's any real reason for them not to do that. So yeah, that's disappointing. Shame they've not done that, but either way, I guess we might as well train him up. So let's head over to the hub and see how good he is. And he is Harry Maguire. Good at defending, physically very strong, slow as hell. Yep, it's just another Harry Maguire card, really. To be fair, overall, he's around about the same level to most previous versions, including that one from the shop, really. So it's a pretty par for the course for a Harry Maguire card. They've nerfed his passing again, like with Chiesa, so we've lost a few points off line off the pass. We've lost a couple of points of kicking power for some reason. We've lost 4 points off physical contact. Why would they do that? It's Harry Maguire. But you'll be excited to know they've boosted his finishing by 19 points. So a centre-back who can't play as a striker is now a lot less terrible at finishing. What are we doing here, Konami? I mean, I don't know what to say. His finishing is a lot better than it normally is. Okay. We've also had a bunch of points added to his acceleration and balance. That's nice. He does need that. But he's still horrendously slow. And yeah, he's just Maguire. I mean, again, like they do this for centre-backs. They've gone up to 14 on defending. Do you need to do that? Look at those defending stats. No, you don't. You just don't. In fact, I'm going to take a bunch more off because we will need to boost his pace a bit. In fact, I want his heading one higher as well. Oop, there we go. And now we're going to go higher on his pace. Get his acceleration to the 70 mark, and that'll make a huge difference. He's going to be rapid now. 1 point left. Goalkeeper 1. Yeah, I would personally do that. He's still going to be slow as hell, but I think any increase to his pace is going to help a bit. Even if you don't do that, like I say, it's not going to make a huge difference. You could just go the auto allocation. He's a real defensive beast there. Those are fantastic attributes for defending. Like I said, though, is it worth it? Going up to 14, I'll be inclined to nick those points back. Whether you boost his pace, you could just put him straight on aerial, to be honest. 2 points left, and you can get his jumping up to 90. 1 left, stick on passing. Yeah, you could do that. That to me actually probably is a better build if you accept the fact he's going to be slow no matter what. Giving him a boost to his physical and his aerial strength. What's the aerial? Oof, 282.2 centimeters for his jumping height. That's good. So I'll tell you what, he'll be good for defending against cross spam. And as we know, there's the new legend pack with Collar and Beckham in, so that there's going to be a new wave of cross spam at the moment. This could actually be a pretty handy card to deal with cross spam, you know. So yeah, you could that build could be a decent one. I'll be tempted to go with that actually if I had this card. But yeah, it's essentially it's just another Maguire card. If you've got a Maguire card, you probably don't need this one. Even the one from the shop is about the same overall. The fact they're going to super sub for me is useless because you can't play him as a striker. And if this is going to be a clutch version of Maguire, they should have made him at least semi-proficient as a striker. So I think it's a real mistake they've not done that. Albeit they have increased his finishing. So I guess if you send him forward for a corner, his finishing will be better, which might come in handy at maybe once or twice over the course of time, ever. Maybes, I guess. But yeah, essentially it's just another Maguire card. If you don't have a good Maguire card and you want one, even just for the vibes, it'll be a good one for you to pick up. It is a good centre-back card, but the drawback is obvious. He is unbelievably slow. He's very slow. He's not the most mobile. So if you can deal with that, yeah, he's strong in other areas, and you could make him a very effective centre-back for dealing with cross spam. But yeah, like I say, the fact he's been in the shop quite recently, and the fact they've missed the trick by not making him at least semi-proficient as a striker is a bit disappointing, really. But yeah, if you don't have a Maguire card and you want one, even just for the vibes, it could be a good one for you. He's very good defensively, very physically strong, very good in the air, just slow as hell. But I think it's pretty much what you expect from a Maguire card, really, and it is pretty much par for the course. So for those who want a Maguire card, happy days, you got one. But is it really worth making him super sub if you can't play up front? No. I'm a bit annoyed that they've missed the trick with that one. So speaking of bad choices, we have Frattesi, is he in one of the current penalty packs, or is it last year? I forget which one, but yeah, most people have either got a Frattesi card from the penalty game, or they've not because they got it and they released it because they didn't want it. So yeah, another card where I just don't think many people really need this Frattesi card. I think it's a bad choice. Is he a clutch player? Yeah, certainly in the Champions League last season, he's got that tendency to come off the bench, get a goal, but Not a great choice, but yeah, it would still be a good card. Frattesi is always a decent one. He's an interesting one. He's a centre mid hole player. That whole player playing style is obviously a very attack-minded playing style for our centre mid. But yeah, we've had a bunch of Frattesi cards, including the penalty one. They're mostly around the same level as this one, to be honest. Some of them are slightly better though. The one from the penalty game is pretty similar. He's had a fairly mixed boost from his GP card. Let's check the skills actually. So he's not already got super sub. He probably should have already had it, to be fair, because he is a bit of a clutch player. But they've taken away gamesmanship and they've added super sub. Outside of that, got one touch and through, first time shot crack finishing. So he got the kind of skill set you'd expect for a whole player centre mid, to be honest. Mostly attack minded. There's nothing really defensively there. So it's going to depend how you want to use this guy. But certainly as a whole player, he's got a pretty good selection skills to start off with. But yeah, let's jump over to the hub. Let's train him up. Where is the hub? There we are. So it is... it doesn't look too exciting. I don't remember exactly what I said when I reviewed the Frattesi card from the penalty game, but I'm guessing it's pretty similar. Doesn't look that amazing, but could do a job. He's kind of got a decent amount of some things. Good passing, a few points. You know, he's got a little bit of defensive ability. Yeah, I mean, he's got better stamina than most of these cards. Very two-footed. He's fully two-footed. That's good. That's very good. Very handy. So yeah, as a kind of box crashing whole player centre midfielder, could be handy. From his GP card, it's a fairly mixed boost. There's nothing crazy going on really. They could put 7 points on his dribbling, 9 on his balance, 8 on defensive engagement. That's about it really. Nothing major going on elsewhere. So yeah, it's a question of where you want to use this guy. What you're gonna do with him. As a centre midfielder, I mean, there's so many different ways you can use a centre midfielder, but clearly with the whole player playing style, if you use him in that position, you're going to have him as an attack-minded midfielder. You're going to have 1 or 2 midfielders behind him doing the defensive work. If that's the case, I'd be inclined to get rid of those points off defending, to be honest, and make him a bit better going forward. So I think I'll do a build as a centre mid, an attack-minded centre mid, or as an attacking mid, because you can train him to be an attacking midfielder where the whole player playing style will be active again. So as an attack-minded build, which is what I think I would recommend for most people on this guy, I would probably do... I mean, he needs a bit of shooting actually, doesn't he? For a whole player, he could do some finishing. I was going to nudge his attack awareness up a bit and his balance. Let's give him some shooting instead. Yeah, I think I'll be inclined to do that. I mean, the finishing still isn't brilliant. For what Frattesi's good at, that's a bit harsh, I think. Frattesi's, I mean, he's a goal-scoring midfielder, isn't he? I don't think his passing was that great either. So I think just in terms of how good you can make the card, I'd probably be inclined to do that. You know, he's not the quickest, he's not got great balance, but you can make him pretty tidy on the ball, good passing. He'll get into good attacking position with the whole player playing style. If you wanted a more realistic build, I'd be inclined to nick some points off his passing and beef his finishing up, to be honest. Maybe do something like that. That could work. That could work actually, because the passing's still decent enough. Get that finishing up to the 80 mark. Not quite so good in the ball now, but still good enough. Yeah, to be honest, I think I quite like the look of that build. It doesn't look great to me. It's not a card I look at and think, oh, I'd love to try him out. It could be good for me. He's not that amazing a card. But I think that kind of a build, if you shuffle the points around to something like that, still got decent passing, bit of finishing ability now, still very decent on the ball, attacking where still decent for a whole player. Yeah, as an attack-minded centre mid or attacking midfielder, could be decent. Not amazing, but could be decent. Other positions, wide midfield. Did I make him a cross spammer when I reviewed the one from the penalty game? I probably did, didn't I? Knowing me. Let's just see. He's not got pinpoint crossing, is he? If you gave him pinpoint crossing, can you make him a cross spammer? I mean, he's not the quickest. Yeah, kind of ish, yeah. Reasonable pace. Decent on the ball. 82 lofted if you gave him pinpoint crossing. I don't know. Is it worth making him a cross spammer? For me, I'm not so sure. But you can train him for left midfield as well. If you're training for left midfield, passing not as important. If you go down to 4 on passing, get that finishing up a little bit. Give him a bit more pace back. Yeah, as a whole player from left midfield, because whole player will be active left mid and right mid. As a left midfielder, maybe. I don't think it looks amazing. Can we just slightly nudge his on the ball attributes up a bit? Yeah. He could do a job left mid. He's got first time shot. He could do his long range curler, one touch and through, super sub again. If you gave him long range curler and position training for left midfield, he could be handy. I wouldn't say any better than handy though. I don't think he'd be great there, but certainly can make him pretty good on the ball. He'd have a bit of end product, but not exactly electric pace. So yeah, could be an interesting left midfield, but is it worth the position trainers and the skill trainers? Probably not. And then defensive mid, the last one we got. What's the auto allocation going to tell us? It's going to tell us probably not. Nothing particularly great there. Okay on the ball, decent enough passing. Defensively, not particularly strong. Down the right, kind of got a bit of everything, but not a great deal of anything. No active playing style DMF. You're going to use him there? You're not, are you? Let's be honest. I don't think anyone's going to use the position trainers and the skill trainers to give him everything he needs to play as a DMF. It wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, I think what we've essentially got here, you've just got a very attack-minded centre mid or an attacking mid if you position train him for there. I don't think it's worth the trainers to make him a wide mid or a defensive mid, but as a centre mid or an attacking mid, he could be handy. He could be useful one for the Italian change, could come in handy for that. But like I said, most of us have either got or had the one from the penalty game, and if you've not got it, it's probably because you've released it because you didn't want it. So I don't think it's a good choice. Sure, he fits the clutch players theme, but yeah, it's not an amazing card, and I think most of us have either got or had one that's just as good as this. So don't think there's a great need for it for many people really. But if you didn't get that for Frattesi card, and if you want one, there's an attack-minded centre mid or attacker mid especially, could be a handy one, especially for that Italian league change. But beyond that, I can't really say a great deal. I don't think it's going to be the most appealing card for most people, really. Next we have Leandro Trossard from Arsenal. So, face scan, creative playmaker, left wing forward, unwavering form, pretty two-footed. He is a super sub. They have not added that. I think he's already a super sub. Got a pretty nice section of skills for a wide left forward, although there's another one of his cards where he's got the playmaker playing style, but you look at the skills, he's all about shooting and not passing. There's no passing skills there. He got a whole load of shooting skills, a couple of skills at the top there, but the passing attribute doesn't look too bad, to be fair though. You could certainly put some skills on him. Let's just jump over to the hub, start training him up, and so he's pretty decent. We've had quite a few Trossard cards up to this point now. This is a decent version of him, in fairness. Previous versions are a mixed bag. Some of them a bit better than this, some of them not quite so good. He's had a few Player of the Week cards. I've had one or two of his Player of the Week cards. At least one was a very tidy card, actually. But yeah, it's a pretty decent Trossard card. Not necessarily the best, but it's a decent one. And it's a mixed boost as well from his GP card. Again, we've nerfed him in the air. So we've got a player who's small, he's terrible in the air, and they've taken even more points away from his aerial ability. I don't know why. But yeah, we've lost 5 off heading, 6 off jumping. We've lost 3 points off acceleration for some reason, but they put 5 on speed. I'm okay with that. I mean, if they are going to nerf something that's important to him, at least he's still got enough on acceleration, and they have boosted the speed a bit, so it is what it is. He's a nice boost to his kicking power, his physical contact, of course. I put a bit on his on-the-ball attributes. They kind of leveled them out a bit. That's looking pretty nice. So yeah, it's a tight looking version of Trossard. I would still like a bit more speed if I'm going to play him up wide. But yeah, all there's a point on defending. We'll take that straight away. But yeah, it looks like a tidy version of him. I wouldn't change a huge amount because he does have a bit of end product. I think the first thing I'll be looking at is the skills. I think I'll be looking to give him one touch and through, to be honest. Really kind of back up that passing attribute, because 82 low pass for a wide man is decent. Finishing 80 is decent. Attacking rates 84 is very decent. I think, to be honest, this is one of these cards where it's a shame they've made him a playmaker. I mean, that is his playing style. But I think if he had a different playing style, like he was a roaming flank, for example, or even just a prolific winger, I think he could be a very, very decent card. I think the overall profile, looking at the stats and the skills, would suit another play style a bit better than this. But even as a playmaker, he could be very handy there. Left midfield or left wing forward. In terms of shuffling points around, the one thing I'd like to boost is the speed, to be honest, if he's out wide. So can we do much to boost his speed? Not a great deal. 89, almost at the 90 mark. That's just about all you can do, I think, really. I mean, he could nick more points off his shooting and passing. I wouldn't want to do that. But yeah, he does look pretty tidy. Bit of pace about him. He's got some great kicking power behind his shots. You will notice that. He's got a bit more physical strength than normal. He's got great balance, good on the ball. And like I say, you've got a bit of end product, good attacking awareness. I think he can be pretty handy from the left wing. Through the middle, could you make him an attacking mid? The passing is not too bad. Let's just auto-allocate attacking mid first, see what it says. So he's definitely lost some speed there, but yeah, that passing is looking alright, to be honest. Would you bother going higher, try and hit the 90 mark? Is it worth it? I would say no. I don't think I'd do much else, to be honest. Yeah, I think as an attacking mid, I'll go with something like that. Not the quickest, but it's not too important as an attacking mid. You certainly still get some acceleration and balance on him. Good on the ball, reasonable passing. You'd need to give him the passing skills. You gave him one touch and through. I think it could be a handy attacking mid. Not an amazing one, but you could definitely do a job there. Again, though, poor stamina. Loads of these cards have got poor stamina. They really want us to use these guys as substitutes, don't they? But yeah, through the middle at a push. As an SS, a bit less emphasis on passing. He can a bit more speed, maybe get a bit more power behind his shots. Maybe it's a bit more dexterity. No, finishing. We'll give him more finishing. We'll just do that, maybe. Yeah, just behind the attack as an SS. Creative playmaker will be active still there. He'll be active in all his positions except centre forward, which we'll look at next. But yeah, as an SS, just behind the attack, creative playmaker. If you gave him one touch and through, passing not amazing, but good on the ball, good attack awareness, decent finishing, pretty mobile, pretty nimble. Could be pretty handy there as an SS as well. And yeah, centre forward. We'll look at that centre forward now. So auto allocation, what's that going to tell us? Yeah, it's the finishing that lets him down a bit. There's not a lot you can do to boost his finishing. I'll take this for aerial. There's not a lot else really that's worth doing, I don't think. I'll maybe do that. Yeah, there's not a lot you can really do there. He's usable as a striker. Again, at least as a super sub, throw him on up front. He's got a bunch of shooting skills there. He could get you a goal or two, could do a job there. Overall, though, the points you have to sacrifice to get the awareness and finishing up, I don't think it's really worth it. I don't think it'd be amazing there, but he definitely could do a job if you really needed someone up front. Wide right as a right footer, the crossing wouldn't be good enough. He's not got pinball crossing, and his lofty pass is terrible, so I don't think it'd be worth the position and skill challenge to play him wide right. But it's a handy Trossard card, certainly through the middle, could do a job behind the attack or in attack, but primarily wide left. I'll leave him on auto allocation. It's a decent Trossard card. He's not quite got the speed I think a lot of people would want from a winger, but you can nudge that up a bit. But elsewhere, you know, he's pretty nimble. Again, another one with a very low centre of gravity. The acceleration, the bounce, good on the ball. Got a bit of end product as well, good attacking awareness. It's a pretty handy card, this. I think wide left primarily could be pretty handy, but he's versatile. One or two other ways you can use him as well. And again, he is a super sub, of course, which is just as well because his stamina's not brilliant. But yeah, even if you start him, you'd have to sub him off at some point. But could be a handy one, this. It's not the best Trossard card we've had, but it's not the worst either. It's a decent one. A few ways you can use him, especially off the left. Could be a handy one for the English League Challenge. Yeah, it's a solid Trossard card. Could be a handy one for a fair few people, that. And last but not least, we've got Gonçalo Ramos from PSG. So, face scan and goal purchase centre forward. Inconsistent form. A bit harsh. And of course, he's a super sub. He's already got that skill. Decent selection of skills there. Could do with maybe his long range curler, maybe his long range shooting, fighting spirit. Yeah, he's got some good skills though. Let's go train out straight away. Let's get straight over to the hub. That is not Gonçalo Ramos. That looks a lot more like Trossard to me. Where's Ramos? There he is. So how good is this Ramos card? It's alright. It's decent. Is this the highest rated in the pack? We've come to him last. Always Trossard higher rated. Yeah, this isn't an amazing card. It's decent though. I mean, first things first, there's no French League Challenge. Yes, there's the European clubs one, maybe the national teams challenge and stuff like that. But in terms of the regular league challenges, there's no league challenge for him out of the main ones, so that's a negative. But it's a solid card. It's decent. On a goal purchase, I'd like that speed to be a bit higher. It's nice to get it to around the 90 mark. It's not far off, to be fair. Finishing again, I mean, it's there or thereabouts, but he's not that amazing, this card. You know, the balance isn't brilliant. He does compare pretty well to previous versions overall, to be honest. It's a decent version of Ramos. The only one that's comfortably better is the Champions League Player of the Week one that's got a booster. The booster, when he's got that A-form booster, that looks like the best version of Ramos that we've had, and it's better than this one. Again, they've nerfed him in the air. I mean, I can understand it with tiny players where it makes no difference, but Ramos is about 6'1". He's got heading. They've taken 4 points off heading and 6 points off jumping. Why have they done that? Why would you do it? I don't mind if it's like someone like Trossard or, you know, Roony, whoever else they've done it on, the tiny players, Correa. It's not going to make any difference on them. But Ramos, it's actually going to make a difference because you will sometimes want to score a header with this guy. And they've nerfed his heading and jumping. Why? This is a highlight card. Make him better, not worse. We've lost 1 point off balance as well. Why? Why? 7 points off stamina. They do not want us to start these players. Stamina's not too bad though, to be fair. You can still get away with starting him. But yeah, 7 points off stamina for some reason. But where have they boosted him? They've boosted him a bit on the ball, a bit more pace, a bit more kicking power, and of course physical contact again. +10 physical contact. And +2 defensive awareness. Awesome. Okay, so I was a bit annoyed about the fact they've nerfed him in the air, but now that I know we've got +2 defensive awareness, okay, I take it back. This is a great Ramos card. Yeah, no, it's a decent card. This is fairly 2-foot. He's got some decent skills. Could do with 1 or 2 more. Could do with being a bit better on a few of his attributes, the finishing and the speed, maybe, is the balance. So yeah, it's not the most exciting version of Ramos, but it is a good one. It does compare reasonably well to previous ones, even if it's not the best version we've had of him. Could you nudge that finishing up, the speed up? Not really, because there's not many points to spare from elsewhere, to be honest. I mean, you could take some points of aerial quite comfortably. Do you nudge the speed up? Do you nudge the finishing up? I would say finishing. Just nice to make it go blue and hit the 90 mark. Not going to make a lot of difference, is it? You can nudge that dribbling up, actually, if you take one off passing. I'd probably just do that. I don't think there's a great deal to say with this Ramos card. It's just a decent goal poacher centre forward. It's not an amazing one. Like I say, 1-2 attributes I'd like to be a little bit higher. You could do with maybe 1-2 extra skills, but for a Gonçalo Ramos card, it's a solid one. Is it an amazing one? No. And we're lacking a lead challenge, one of the main lead challenges as well. So there's 1-2 things that do go against this Ramos card, but essentially it's just a decent centre forward goal poacher card, really. There's nothing really more to say about it. You're not going to play him as an SS because you can't really pass the ball. You're not going to waste your position trains trying to make a wide forward, are you? He's just a centre forward. He's a goal poacher. Is he a good one? Yeah, he's a pretty handy one. He could do a job for you, but he's not an amazing one. And they've nerfed him in the air, which is absolutely bizarre and makes no sense to me. But +2 defensive awareness. So yeah, pros and cons. It's a solid Gonçalo Ramos card. It's just not an amazing one, and 1-2 things about it just a little bit disappointing, really. But still could be a decent one for a fair few people. So there's your clutch players pack. Some weird choices in there, some disappointing ones. It does make sense having Maguire and Frattesi in there because they are clutch players. But for me personally, if this is the theme they're going to use clutch players, I would wait a while, a little bit longer, since they released 3 versions of Maguire and Frattesi. Otherwise, they're just bad choices. I'm not sure. Is Milner even a clutch player, or is he just in because he's old and he scored a penalty once? I mean, what's he in there for? Where's Harvey Barnes? Harvey Barnes is the ultimate clutch player. I've lost count of the number of times Barnes has come off the bench for Newcastle and scored crucial goals for us. He's done it twice at least this season alone. Maybe I'm biased, I don't know. But yeah, Correa's a clutch player, to be fair. Why is Roony in there, actually? Is it just because he plays for Barca? Has he actually done anything off the bench? I've seen most of Barca's games this season. He seems to come off the bench in most games. He just kind of does a bit of dribbling and looks quite exciting, but doesn't actually do anything. I don't think... Has he scored yet? I don't know. Anyway, there's some decent cards in. I mean, Rooney's a decent card. He's not got much end product. He's fun on the ball. Milner, if you've always wanted a Milner card, could be a good one, I guess. He could be a handy one. He's versatile. Can cover a couple of positions at a stretch. Chiesa, not the best Chiesa card, but it's still a good one. Correa, do you get the Mexican League challenge? Could be handy if you do. Otherwise, I'm not sure I see too many people going for him, but in my experience, a pretty tidy player. And if you were to position training for left wing, I think it could be a very nice roaming flank. Frattesi, just Frattesi, is an attack-minded centre mid, whole player. Could be a handy one, but do many people need a Frattesi card? I don't think so. Likewise, Maguire. Why didn't they make him at least semi-proficient as a centre forward? I think that's a big miss. They could have made it a real fun meme card, but they've missed the trick there. Ramos, like we just saw, solid centre forward, but can't say a great deal more than that. And why have they nerfed him in the air? And then Trossard. I don't mind the fact they've nerfed him in the air because he's good elsewhere, and you don't really want him to be good in the air, do you? It's a tidy card, that. So yeah, there are some tidy cards in there. Some weird choices. On the whole, I'd say it's I wouldn't be as harsh as to say it's a meh pack, but I don't think it's a particularly great one either. I think it's pretty par for the course for one of these kind of 5-star, albeit mostly 5-star nominating contract packs. They don't want us to have, they don't want to give us too many cards that are too valuable, too good, too useful, too appealing. They obviously need to maintain the divide between the free cards and the ones we have to pay for. So it's kind of understandable, but yeah, it's still a little bit less exciting. I think it could have been, but certainly there are 1-2 decent ones in there, and especially for a 4-star. If you've got a 4-star to use, you're not bothered by the other league challenge packs. That really one for a 4-star could be a real fun one, especially as a super sub. But keep your eyes on the other packs though, because I have reviewed these. If I remember to, which I probably won't, I'll put a card on the screen about now because I've reviewed these packs. So check that review out if you're not already, because there are some other players in there, not just 4-stars, but more 5-stars than normal. As you can see from the preview, you've got Osako, Schultz, and you've got Moreno, Casio, Bruno, Enrique. And you've got another 3 in Turkey. You've got Pekovic, Under, and Saleh. Out of all those 5-stars, I would say Casio and Under probably the pick for me. They're pretty usable even outside the league challenges, to be honest. So there are some other 5-star and 4-star options to consider as well as the ones in this new pack. But yeah, I think it's an alright pack, this new one, just not an amazing one. So be interested to know your thoughts. Let me know what you think of these packs. Let me know who you're going to use your contracts on. Be interested to know. There'll be 1 or 2 streams and videos coming up, I'm sure. I'm not quite so busy at the moment. I'm tempting fate by saying that, but touch wood, I'll be able to get a few more videos and streams out there over the coming weeks. So yeah, cheers for watching this one. Hopefully you found it useful, and I'll be seeing you soon for something or other. So take it easy, have a fantastic weekend. See you next time.